Randy Pitchford pudding pie said you're not a real fan if you don't buy. Embrace the $80 new normal, seething CEO so hormonal. Bungie, Latinx and trans, why'd you steal from pronouns, man? DMC SSX tricky, kill your game like Infinity Nikke. Western woke cannot allow pretty, pronouns flatten Laura's big titties. Fortnite AI rips off the band-aid proximity, chat toxic says gay. Hogwarts who already got you riled up, year's bestseller even if you didn't give a fuck. Concord Marathon Fair Games, oh my, most would rather die than buy. You put your right foot in, you put your right foot out. Accessibility is what you're all about. I play games actually made for babies. Your games are dumbed down for DSP. I'm on a mission from the magic conch. Let's put it to rest. Oh well, won't ya? Ooh, that's being your daughter. Willy wiggle and jiggle, do what it oughta. What can I say? What can I do? How can one like me get through to you? I'm not gay, so I won't pay. How many times must I say? CVS Omnimusha censored. Capcom won't listen. Tell investors. Sydney Sweeney gets replies hidden. Culture cuck hates big titty women. Praise the sun, Doro in 4K. Goddess of victory, stellar nikke. It happened again, without fail. Players still don't equal sale. Fire will burn, it's your turn. The root is nern, you're gonna learn. No investment, no return. Your fate's not of my concern. Surgery scars, they them albino. Fat transsexual, who look like a rhino. Mad excuses for why you suck. Out of funding and out of luck. Blizzard copies Apple bends. Money makers chase those trends. Sony's still in a fight with X. This is how I tolerate disrespect.
Appreciating jiggly breasts, RoboCop. Your priorities remain confounding. I trust this obsession will not impede your combat readiness.
Big jiggly breasts love, in fact, makes me more combat capable.
Combat capability is enhanced by discipline, trooper, not by the presence, real or imagined, of big jiggly breasts. I trust that is clear. Do you require further clarification? Fire. The Empire's reach extends even to these.
Big jiggly breasts helped us do this, Vader. Thank you.
You attribute our victory to big jiggly breasts, RoboCop. Is this some new form of psychological warfare? Perhaps the Republic should have employed similar tactics. I find your methods unconventional, yet effective. So, Apprentice, the success of this goddess of victory hinges on the shift-up CEO. Are such trivial financial matters of concern to a soldier, or are you seeking investment opportunities?
Not only would I love to invest, but the way he made the $1 billion is off of big jiggly breasts in his video game.
So, the fortune amassed by this shift-up CEO stems from digitized anatomy?
Precisely. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're appreciating what you can't find anywhere else. If you thought shills felt bad for Bungie after getting caught stealing art for what's not even like the third time this has happened, imagine how Gearbox employees must feel after CEO Randy Pitchford chose to atomize his game's optics by responding like this to a user's comment, which reads, "Randy, this game better not be $80. Don't take that risk. A lot of gamers aren't going to pay $80 and feed this notion of constant increase of the price tag. You are the CEO. You have some say with the price when it comes to your publisher." Randy Pitchford responds, A, not my call. B, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store had Starflight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991 when I was just out of high school working minimum wage at an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen. Without dignifying that with a response, I'd like to summarize my feelings in 5 words. He thought he was Nintendo. Dude put out a movie with DEI casting, so old ladies, and thought he was Sonic the Hedgehog, thought he was Mario. He thought he was Minecraft and has some chicken jockey brand power. Wrong. God go with comedian Randy Pitchford, and may God have mercy on his soul if that game's more than like $40. His team of unluckies are, for once, not having the ugly, toned down, sanitized DEI design to blame for what is a lack of appeal onto apathy, which is, normally the worst of these games' problems. As Marathon follows in Concord's tracks and competing with who can be forgotten the fastest, another upcoming extraction shooter called Arc Raiders with equally unbearable design is free to play, when Bungie expects to be able to charge people for its game that's coming out. So the phrase Arc Raiders versus Art Raiders has manifested the community, and that's too funny, you know what I mean? Another upcoming extraction shooter called Fair Games with equally unbearable design lost its studio founder, as in the person who founded the studio departed after an external test of the game that it's rumored to have not gone too well. Who could imagine that? A game that looks this not playing well. Fair Games developer Haven was so delicious that they were devoured by Sony, who had big faith in Fair Games, like Sony had big faith in Concord, like Bungie had big faith in Marathon. You and I could have summed up this slop and why it would never have been successful in 3 words. Look at it. So here comes Stellar Blade by Korean developer Shift Up of Goddess of Victory fame, the spiritual successor to Lara Croft, a juicy, beautiful bait, an escape from the matrix and the channels that normies inhabit, man. Some inspiration, a carrot, a challenge to some people to do better, to mold with different clay, to carve into different marble, to sculpt something objectively, visually appealing, captivating, amuse. There are Patreon artists making more money monthly than big studios will in a year, all because of how they can communicate their singular vision, focused to a page, to a computer screen, their depiction of a woman come to life. It takes a very special, insecure, miserable, and narcissistic entity to take so vicious an issue with the mere existence of objective beauty. PC Gamer says, players freak out over supposed Widowmaker butt nerf, proving Marvel rivals Gooner skins have wound back the clock 10 years. What high praise this is from the fun police, who claim Game Science Black Myth Wukong wasn't diverse enough. But they can be forgiven because maybe the game wasn't developed by GDC screaming, douchebags with a philosophy to make things DSP accessible. What game journalists remain were screaming yippee when the new Doom came out, because boy oh boy was it gonna take it at your pace. Gameplay more akin to Super Hot, if you know that game. But just like the Animal Crossing Doom combo that launched 5 years ago in 2020, this game launched with another decorate your home game, and I'm playing that. It's called Fantasy Life I haven't even reached the part where I could decorate my damn house. There seems to be a lot going on in this game, and that's fine. I guess I'm having more of a fun time in something like that than what you're trying to baby up. Man, those glory kills are really just getting on people's nerves. In the Hell game. I've never played it. I've never heard of it, but, from what I've enjoyed so far, this Fantasy Life game is just amusing for dopey normies like me. Don't ask if I know Normie. Of course I know him. He is me. But I do not like DEI spam. I do not like it, straight I am. I will not play it on a pass. I recognize it as past gas. I won't consume it with pronouns, not even were my syndrome downs. The runway is clear thanks to GTA stepping back into 2026. Now you'll get to see Overwatch's course correction as it copies Fortnite. And, the jiggly waifu gotcha philosophy will stretch across gaming as we roll into our Azure Promelias, man. Now you get to see Koreans, Chinese, Japanese when they shake all of that woke off. Doing something. I love that Girls Frontline copied Nikke. I love that Snowbreak copied Nikke, and now Stellar Blade is doing their 4K little Nikke combat. I love it. And all I can think of are the mods. Beta tester, we are in interesting times. The East could decide to God of War, Batman, looter shooter, anything they wanted tomorrow, and they'd instantly have an advantage because they wouldn't be putting gorillas that they're calling woman on the box and intending to sell this product to people. You'll be seeing plenty of people, air quotes, dropping their DEI because they're already transitioned into calling it a new thing. But a toast to you for the countless battles that you've won, are winning, and will win, some hilariously through inaction. But the war wages on. And now that they need your help, they're temporarily pausing the make you the root of all evil and cause of all of their problems train. You're expected to weep for them after they pissed, shat, coughed and spat at, sneezed, jerked off into, and sprinkled some pubic hair into the thing they were trying to serve you. Damn, you mean we don't care? How can that be? Ugh. The workplace is toxic, you know. You mean like the forums you ignore, like the proximity chat that you're gonna silence on our behalf. You make that decision for us, because the next steps would be what? Locking people out of their account, right? For whatever you regard as just incorrect behavior, toxic, right? Oh, maybe it's even harassment, like a teabag. Is that harassment? How far you jizz rags have come. Smartest thing that you can do is avert your gaze, because if some gamers catch you looking in their direction, they'll treat you to some of the kindness that you have bestowed on us by making the chud haters the problem, right? The truth is, none of us were under the impression that we were special to these businesses. We are pawns in their game. And Eastern devs are playing a very serious game and trying to establish power. And they're sacrificing some things to establish loyalty among their player bases, which is why none of us are really deluded when Corpo waves flag and says the BLM phrase. We gonna trust them? Shift Up's got us a victory, CEO. Was mocking some of what's going down on the Chinese servers because it's brought a swath of quality of life features that maybe the global players have been waiting for years. Better loading times and just instantly a better objectively experience than what others are experiencing off of Chinese servers for Nikke. So the communication that was forced to occur happened because of how united everybody was. Infinity Nikke recently released a patch so greedy that the update went back on promises and increased pity. These things don't mean anything to you if you don't play a gacha game, but it retconned the story, it revoked some valuable equipment, it effectively resulted in time lost in terms people who don't play can understand. But imagine a patch for something comes out and it allows us to get a currency much faster, so we start grinding that, and then down the line they decide, oh, that was a mistake, so they take from your account after this thing that it was not kind of made clear to anybody was an error and that you shouldn't be exploiting. The only reason any of this matters is because these are the same developers behind Love and Deep Space, which was recently destroying it in the way of appeal for, you know, female and other communities, but they're not as cucked and simp whipped like some of the shooter, FIFA, car game, normie gamers pre-ordering everything are. Infinity Nikke has done serious damage to the trust that had people paying hand over foot, and if they're not willing to invest in that way, they're gonna have problems. Hoyoverse of Zenless, Star Rail, Genshin fame finally replaced some of the arrogant, insane, and loudmouth voice actors trying to muscle people into this freaking union, and the ball is finally going to be rolling at so crippling a time as when Google and some of these other AI are really showing off what the fuck they can do, and you let them look like the good guys. Hoyo graciously gave you the opportunity to embarrass yourselves and fumble the most lucrative deal in all of gaming. Hoyo is the Disney of gaming, and their games are their MCU. Everybody just doesn't understand that now. So with these replaced actors who can hopefully stop making the space infinitely worse for their peers and colleagues, change is upon everyone. So the frustration that you'll see manifest will give you better entertainment than you've had in years, beta tester. This marathon situation has people telling the truth for the first time in years, and I'm seeing something even in the Infinity Nikke space that warms my heart. And to summarize, the content creators, the shills, the ones with the hand right up their ass, their strings that they dangle on by their puppet masters visible for all to see, they may not discuss Watagwan with the game. And because that, people who are willing to talk about it are taking their place. And trust is a currency that in a time when everybody's behavior is indistinguishable from that of a bot might matter more than you think. You are about to see them make changes right in your face. And it ain't because they want to. It'll be because they're forced to. And now that they're not the ones doing the forcing, they're going to expect us to have big ears for what's going on with them. So, what have you been playing lately?